somewhat aggressive beyond the smokes, but we are going to get knife round started. And although our crowd is dwindling, if they get really hyped right now, I might go for the speed round. We'll see. Should I do it?
Okay,
I don't know.
You do it
the
for
crowd has to tell me to do it, not you.
Okay.
They're not telling me anything.
Simple question to the crowd. Do you want him to cast Korean-style knife round? Yes, with applause.
Come on.
It's a mix.
It's a mix. Applause.
It's a mix. For the people we got here, you've got it, man. Just go for it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
So Knife is going to start and already exist up over the top, looking over to Olaf Meister, who's playing passively, but JW does get into Freiburg already. GetRight finds Crimzo to get right back into a 4-on-4 situation, and Exist wants to chase them out, but JW is going to find GetRight before he can possibly get any further. And look at the chase. 1v1 battle going on the backside of jungle, and Exist wants to make a sandwich out of Olaf Meister, and they chomp down on top of him, and it's down to a 2-on-2. AK and Alu already down low, pardon me, AK. Forest Gunner, not even tagged up. How bad-mannered of him. It goes into a 1-on-1. He's looking for Flusha. And they're just going to, all right, this could kill him if he hits him direct. I'm just going to slow down because they want to slow down. So into the 1-on-1. Do it. Do it. Oh, okay. Forrest just waits it out. Look at him.
That's Matrix style right there. The speed. But
Flusha. Yeah, Flusha.
He needed 2 hits at the end there, Forrest. That's why he couldn't finish it up. So Fnatic, they take the knife round, and it looks like they're probably, more than likely, they'll end up just staying on CTs. Even though Ninjas in Pyjamas may still be happy with this, actually they're going to switch. So
they are.
So Ninjas in Pyjamas will be forced onto CTs, and maybe this is Fnatic reading into NIP for the fact they like to play T-side at the start of a full series.
And that's, yeah, I mean, this is, again, we're switching things up. We saw Nip do this on Dust 2, or pardon me, on Cash yesterday. Try and get that early start. Now it's going to be JW and Co that want to try it. And this will set the tempo for how they want to play that aggressive mid, but I don't know if I necessarily agree with it fully on Mirage. It definitely puts a lot of pressure on this pistol to give them the start they're looking for.
I'm also interested to see where Fnatic goes for the early pickups. Now, like, I was looking into a couple of games from Fnatic just to see what they do with their pistol route and how they started it off. And I think I was talking to you about this actually on day number 1 of the competition, where Fnatic, they just have to throw one smoke up to the mid window. There's a small little gap there, and they just leave JW to go for these long-range picks, get the initial drop, and then just push either in through Cat or they go up through mid-connector. And
JW knows, I mean, that's one of the advantages of playing against the position you normally play yourself. He knows how to approach window because he knows what he hates playing against. He knows what works against him, so therefore he can put it into his bag of tricks. And I mean, that's typically why they leave him in that spot to take the shot. He knows the angle he has to be at, so that's what they're going to go for. So Fnatic choose to start out the hard way, and we will get map number 1 underway. Second team is going to be illuminated from this tournament after this match, and the second team into the grand final. TSM awaits the winner.
And they get to have a great night's sleep. We start tomorrow afternoon, nice and late for it all. As let's get underway. So Fnatic, let's see where they try and hit. They pick T-side, so they want to be the aggressors. Ninjas in Pyjamas have a little bit more of a defensive kind of formation on their left flank. Well, Olaf, he's done this before. Fires off a couple of pot shots at GetRight in the window. There was more support there. GetRight down to 10 HP. Not looking healthy, but NIP, they still, remember, they're holding a very defensive line. So they just bring GetRight into protection. In fact, Exist can be the first one to drop. As Flush was able to find him.
GetRight has to play the passive angle on the vents because he's so low and he's already given away his position.
Yeah, but he did get the tag onto JW. So JW's a little bit injured. Forrest also holding still quite solidly. Freiburg might be forced back here through short A, but Pronax, he gets the upper hand and in they push. GetRight still on the side, but he's got little life, and JW is an easy cleanup for him. Into a 3-on-2, but that's only a grand total of 21 HP combined for the CT players. And, well, make that a little bit lower. Only 9 HP for Forrest. He doesn't have much to work with here unless he can get some headshots. Olaf already just spamming out that Tech 9. He knows he only needs 1 bullet to kill off Forrest, and in fact, JW is going to pick him off from the side. So Fnatic take the first round here on Tees.
Calculated as well. Got the early pick, and it looked like when they committed to that window, you might expect them to wrap into A, but just based on the fact when GetRight dropped, they knew they had to open up B. It had to be a split from the defense, and the fact that he was already rotating over indicated that the others were probably ahead of him in doing so. So good read to go back to B. 1 SMG out, though. Look at GetRight. Goes straight for this MP9. He's going to be up against 3 AKs, a UMP. And MP7 has started off, and the AK gets the distance shot. That's Exist to go, but look at Freiburg and Forrest, the pistols.
They got the perfect little cross. Flush is still going to open up the A site, and in fact, it's going to be JW in through the underpass, taking out the remaining 3. So while Freiburg might be able to do a hell of a lot up through mid, There's a quick return kill, and Fnatic take the second round.
And big damage dealt. That's a small victory because there was 3 AKs bought up, so they lost a rifle in that round already. They'll keep 3 AKs in this one. They bought one more back out. JW goes back. Okay, so they buy a 4th now as well onto Pronax, but JW goes back to the SMG. That still hurts, so NIP give themselves a bit more of a chance. Yes, they got the early kills. Would have been nice to win the round, but that's still significant. Oh, JW, careful not to get caught.
Yeah, he switched to the smoke at the last moment and pulled the MP7 back into his stash. He's this feeling he's been surrounded on all sides, and rightly so he is. He's the only man here. There's the only... Okay, where? Okay, Sandwich, JW's going to bring him down. A side is completely exposed, and looks like Ninjas in Pyjamas. They either try and retake this as a team, which makes a lot of sense when they haven't spent any massive money on pistols, or they just wait it out. Pronax checking every single corner. That smoke's making it very difficult. As NIP, he's so close. Killing off Alu, stuck in window. He might not have realized he has to drop down. Actually, yeah, he is. He's looking in towards that mid connector. Over towards Cat more than anything else. And, well, Forest as well. Coming for the peak. A little bit closer towards the underpass. And, yeah, Ninjas in Pyjamas realize there's not much more they can get apart from maybe just getting them to delay so they had to explode with the bomb. Olof's already low, and now Get Right running in. And it's going to be... Yeah, it's still the 3rd round for Fnatic. Ninjas in Pyjamas, they tried the B-stack, it didn't work.
I mean, they're going to buy this round anyway, so regardless of whether or not Get Right keeps that SMG, really doesn't change much. So we might as well, again, do some more damage. They already did that well in round number 2. And we're going to go straight to JW's op versus Alu. Again, Alu on Mirage usually is quite good. He was a little bit slow on it in the start of the game yesterday against Envious, but of course they did pick up that win, so it ultimately didn't matter. This one's going to be a little bit more pressure for him, and already the tag.
Yep, switches over towards the mid, takes out Flusher so quick. The presence of mind to look towards the mid. JW got smoked out, that's why his orbs had no effect so far. I think Alu might have also scouted out the fact that Fnatic was bouncing themselves down, and Pronax smoking it up, starts to fire, hits pretty heavily into Alu. He's only got 3 HP, and Forrest's going to take him down as well as Crims, and puts a 3 for in.
Very well played. So again, Get Right's back over to A. We're not seeing him in his default. We talked about that yesterday. Instead of going for the window, Alu turns around. That shot, that reaction shot on the connector, that awareness shot was perfectly timed. They give up connector that way. Then they have to force that second player out. Forrest actually, instead of playing directly from window, went to the underpass, tried to pinch off with Freiburg. It ended up working. But if Alu does drop there and they start to work onto the A site, you put a lot of pressure on to exist. Forrest gets trapped in middle because the other players still have a presence there, and Nip has to play basically from behind and fight their way back into position. So Alu started it off, and the rest was just brilliant.
Look at NIP go back-to-back now. Fnatic looking for that small little opening. The smoke is making it difficult. Now they see the Molotov flying out, so Freiburg can reveal the position. Starts spraying. There's a decent amount of damage to JW. Still got 19 bullets left in that clip. Able to kill off Olof, but can't get much more, so Forrest will arrive with that M4. Wants to throw the Molotov down to stop that bomb plant from coming in quickly, and giving time for Get Right to move in through the kitchen area. But now there's only 2 players left alive for the Tees. They didn't really have a lot to play with, considering money was very limited, and it's all up to Flusher, who is going to get mopped up by Get Right. They did get the plant down at least, but that's going to get defused.
And you look, I mean, this is round 5, and they had to save after their first loss. And usually what we've been seeing, it's more so now that the SMGs are out, is that you're going to get 2 buys. If you get your first 3 rounds, you're going to get 2 buys if you lose the next 2 because you got so much money built up. But again, that early damage on round 2 made a huge amount of difference. They never really got to go to those SMGs. They had to upgrade into the AKs, so Nip's keeping them very honest. Just the little things that are making all the difference right now for them, and this is bringing them back into the game early. Again, guns are going to come out, but Flush is going to play it off toward A. The rest of them are going to head up onto B. Watch out for Alu. He's going to get aggressive onto the catwalk this time, so changing his angle every round. Yeah,
he's trying to make sure this mid cannot be controlled by Fnatic, but Fnatic, they've got ways around that. At the same time, I think Forrest is already very much aware of it too. So they just hold the defense angle. Get Right can get the vision down into underpass if he wants to. In fact, there's already some smokes and nades coming out. He starts to spray before they come up, hitting the head of Pronax. So Forrest feels he can come closer towards the window. Battles up against Crims. Actually, not that much damage for the position he was in. Those 2 players down for Fnatic. JW still waiting for that opening. While Olaf, the flash in, able to gun down Forrest in the window. Forrest deciding to actually have the peak anyway, even though they got the man advantage. And Flusher, he's opening up the A side. Get right, still at the back, and they're very much aware of that. That's why the smoke and the nades are flying down there now. And they'll try and cut off this rotation from the B side. Olaf moving in close, and he's waiting perfectly for Freiburg, but Freiburg gets the upper hand.
That's big. That's big.
That means they can control the mid. JW's got to move at some point, but this bomb is still on the wrong side of the map for Fnatic.
Well, the interesting part is Alu. We can see it is down onto the catwalk. That'll open up the back side of the site, so he needs to be aware of this and fall back in his position. Meanwhile, he's still preoccupied, and JW drops to Freiburg. Now it's all left to Flusher with this bomb. He does get Alu, so he'll at least get the plant. He's actually got time to not only get the plant, but he should be able to get into position. And now he's going to take the fight. He wants to hold this close angle on Freiburg.
He might be able to. They're both coming in from the same angle, so a secondary flash still available. Get right, going to be blinded up. Then again, countered. So is Flasher. The two flashes come out. So Flusher trying to hold the back, takes out Get Right now into one-on-one. Freiburg's a man, but Flusher holds it. Big round. 1 versus 3 clutch from him. That's also going to ensure the fact that NIP is incapable of maintaining an AWP. Because they had to, but then again, look at the buy-up that's coming in from NIP. We're looking at auto.
Oh my goodness, Exist is going to go for it. Yeah, we've seen them utilize it on this map many times.
Is it Exist or is it Get Right? Because normally he plays at the back of A.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they toss it. No, it is going to be Exist. They're going to go straight out. He's got the back side of the site, so Get Right's going to move it over toward Connector. This changes things again, but just go back to that last round. Alu gets aggressive on Cat, doesn't fall back, gets caught out, and that's what changed a lot of it. Freiburg nearly brought the round back when they went for that mid boost, because if he hadn't gone down before event, then they split to A a lot easier. Right now they're just playing for positions, but again, they're going to catch off window. That's Alu already out of it. So the op drops. Get Right has to fall into jungle to respond, and they're going to catch Forest as well.
This is wonderful position now for Fnatic. They're not quite sure. Well, they're looking to control up window. They keep the flashes and the nades.
And the difference is that early in the game, Get Right, well played, holds that spray. He's so good at controlling his recoil, but the difference is they aren't directly contesting middle. It's been working with the passive mid. We saw Forest with that late push through underpass. They've stuck with it, and as a result, Fnatic's getting up close with the underpass, one-player underpass, and then, Olaf's come up so many times that they're just catching these frags on the window. As Freiburg will catch Pronax, that'll slow things down, and he's going to get more. Crims as well. And Get Right contributes. Now, this is his default spot normally, so he knows how to play that reverse angle, and JW is going to drop to him. It's all left to Flush. He won a 1v3 last time. But this time he doesn't have the bomb to work with, and they've already got it covered.
Yeah, it's going to be so difficult again there. I love that the initial flash that came out, and Freiburg knew exactly where he had to throw that flash, just popped it in. And Flusher feeling pressured. Only 18 seconds left on the clock, so he has to go in for this B side. Starts with the first pick, but Exist with that auto sniper will pick him up from the kitchen side. So Fnatic now 4-3. They still hold that one-round advantage. But money is insanely tight for them while NIP are walking around with, well, luxury items. Having that auto sniper plus the normal AWP. So Fnatic being very defensive on that top mid again. Obviously, you're only walking around with pistols.
I mean, that's the thing. They want to play this passively. I thought they were going to rush it to apartment and go in toward the underpass to get up close. They haven't even done that. So you got to question what the approach is now for Fnatic. Two players are eventually going to head in that direction, but Alu's already inside the connector looking that way. Crims now heads back over to A, so you have to think they're still going to want to go for this split. You would have thought late in the round they might go just straight for a B push, but they're still sitting up. There's no nades either, so this isn't really much of an execution. This is just going to be strength in numbers, and that leads me to believe that the victory for them at this point is just get the bomb down to keep money flowing, because they've already got 4 rounds.
Alu gets the first sign of a player. Throws down the nade. It's going to hit Pronax very hard, down to 13 HP.
But look how far Olaf just got. He just walked up middle. There's no flashes, there's no smokes. He just walks up. Okay, so Alu catches him. That's the big thing, but if he has a rifle right there, that could have been a whole different story.
At the same time, well, actually, Alu's going to drop. But Exist is still there to mop up the rest. Get Right. With this M4, he holds them back, and Exist gives the crossfire to pick off JW as we try to come out of the Palace. But now they leveled up 4 rounds apiece. And still short on money here for Fnatic, but they're going to buy up now into... I'm seeing some Galils and AKs flying around.
Man, Fnatic didn't even get that bomb plant, so it was a bit of a lackluster round for them. There wasn't really much organization or intention, at least. They didn't have much intent at all to what they were looking to do. So Flush is going to lead off this time. He'll play your bait, your lurk player, and he may actually get company in doing it, or will he? There's one in the shadow. Forest also holding off that angle. Pronax, Olaf, that close smoke on Flash. Oh, good nade, lands right in the face of Olaf Meister. That's full damage, and that smoke allows him to slide left. Pronax eventually takes that opportunity, and look at Alu. He's smoked off again, and they've got two players up close. They need to make sure they hold this connector at this point.
Alu actually started to move down towards underpass to try and get that quick pick off, but once he hit that nade, the spray from up on top mid forced him, or at least made him feel like he should get him back into connector. That practically saved his life right there. It was now Alu levels it up, exists. All that auto sniper running an aggressive position on apartments. Going to keep the smoke up, realizing being pushed in through short A as well, and Olaf's going to get the upper hand there. While Olaf actually killing off Alu inside the kitchen. Forrest moving as quick as he possibly can. In through the kitchen, but they know he's going to be there. So it's up to two players, Forrest as well as GetRight. GetRight having to wait for Forrest to arrive on the site. Maybe he can find just one quick pick, and well, there goes GetRight, and Forrest going to drop just as quickly. So 5 rounds to 4, Fnatic securing that B side, getting the plant down, and they hold on to their weapons. Probably more important at this point.
I mean, yeah, that is important at this point. Again, we've got 5 rounds up. NIP aren't getting early picks. They can't get the angles in middle to control the positioning Fnatic's getting. And even there, they got up mid to start things off in the round, but then they fell back because they had them divided. They figured out enough information. They forced Alu out of that window, backside onto jungle. That's a bit longer for him to rotate over. And specifically, more importantly, gave them catwalk on the take. Now Pronax has got some contests coming his way, as does JW, and Exist takes it out. They line it up. He's got 2.
And he's also got the bomb there. He lost GetRight because the initial hit into GetRight, but Alu's for support. I say that until Olaf, really an absolute beast on the AK for this map. It's going to hit up Exist. Flashes, Molotovs, Crim's throwing everything he's possibly got so he can walk in and pick up that bomb. But Exist going to flashbang, turns his back in, but Crims was waiting for it. So it's 2-on-2 at the moment. The bomb can get back into the hands of Fnatic, and they've still got 1 minute to plant it down. But their plays are so isolated.
And look at Freiburg. Speaking, oh, careful looking away. I think he heard him jump, and Olaf's going to get the shot. He's trying to jump up over that wall just to see if anyone was pushing down the stairs from CT. Little did he know the second player was actually coming from the other way.
The last player left up for NIP is the one man who didn't buy up anything. So he has no rifle to play around with. The nade's coming in, and he already realized Forrest is in trouble. So round to Fnatic.
Do they want it? Does Olaf grab it?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, okay. I mean, look at this lineup. This start things off. You'd think NIP had a great chance in the round at that point, but well held by Fnatic to pull themselves back into it, and now they've got the 2-round lead. Op out for JW and Pistols again for NIP. You have to think back to map number 1 against TSM when things started off slowly on their CT side. That made all the difference. They had a late charge, but this is Fnatic on Mirage. Those rounds on T are going to be a lot harder to get. So they need to pretty much close out on this half.
That's difficult to do when you lose Freiburg over on the apartment. So now B, very thin on defense. And if they lose Forrest as well, they already reveal his position over a cat, which means if the apartment players want to move up, they can do so. And GetRight tries to do something about it, runs up through mid. We've got to remember, NIP, they're only here with pistols. That's why they're in the more aggressive positions and not winning these gun battles.
There was good damage dealt as well onto Olaf, but he just placed himself in the corner, and GetRight came out. Pronax was there to support. In fact, he looked like he was going to flash himself out of it, but I think Pronax called him off of that, so they'll not only get the kill, save the flash on a take on the site. Forrest forced up the ladder. The floor's on fire. It's lava. It's like recess at school.
The roof is meant to be on fire.
As long as the room's not on fire.
And that's, oh.
Hashtag Anders and Semler.
Yeah. Please, give on this. All right, here comes Fnatic. They've managed to loop themselves all the way around to come into the A side. Alu is back over. He shouted to pick up Crims at least, but won't get much more than this with Pronax putting that AK to work. Last player is Forrest, and again, he's in this horrible position. He's going to get shut down by Pronax. Picking up a 4 for that round. And Fnatic, their 7th round of victory as we're rapidly approaching the end of our first half.
So now NIP will go back into it. Alu, though, doesn't get the op-out. Remember that first round he had it when they controlled mid. It was a passive hold then as well, but they actually got that first shot on Olaf pushing aggressively to connector. We saw how much that changed, but they haven't got these picks early.
Oh, JW.
And there it is again. JW gets Get Right. They try and drop down and force the issue. Forrest only getting one, but he gets it. They get back into it. There's two now as he picks up JW. So that evens the round. Watch out though onto A as Flusha comes out. Pronak's going to pick them up and he gets a double. It's Forrest falling back and he has nowhere to go.
There's at least a nice read by Forrest, but the problem is he's being attacked on both sides. There was nothing much more you could do once you get that initial pick off. Ninjas in Pyjamas were just scrambling to get the defense on the mid. But this is what we were talking about with JW, Zorp. Right on target, taking out that mid window. And now Ninjas in Pyjamas, they're forced again to hold on to these pistols of theirs. And the flash is already allowing Luke Pronax so quickly in. He'll have to check down. Well, actually, they're looking over towards the boxes. But you'll also be looking down towards, well, potentially Shadow. They're Molotov'd it out, as well as the jungle JW with two. And this side now belongs to Fnatic. They did lose, however, Olaf and JW to get it. So it's not the cleanest round, and Get Right did manage to pick up that AK. So potentially he can contest, but it's still a 3-on-1.
Well, no better person to contest in a 1-on-3 than Get Right. He actually had to circle back for that AK. That left Forrest alone for a couple of seconds longer. And look at Pronax. He's going on the search. He's already at the horseshoe, trying to come around and figure out exactly where Get Right is. And he's just going to wait it out inside jungle. Needs to be careful, though, because Flusha is going to watch the backside. And Krim's still searching up toward Palace. They're all on the chase right now.
Get Right's going to be happy to try and battle. If they engage in him, of course. And here it is. There's your battle, and well, I suppose Get Right might be happy about it, but Flush is going to be even more happy as he's able to get that AK out of the hands of NIP. But they've got money to buy this round. So we're seeing the AWPs, the M4s are arriving for us, still a 6.5k to buy. So a full buy round for both sides.
And right now I have to think the debate. Forrest is in a position. Does he go double op? Yep, there it is. I think they sat and talked about it for a minute because that was a late buy from him. So this is Nip trying to get back in.
And Alu's actually going to go for this mid pick.
JW's not there, though.
JW is looking to try and come in through that A side, up through the stairs. But they can at least get a nice little crossfire on mid. But difficult for any of Fnatic to push up, either through Cat or to go directly down mid as Alu's watching from that window space. A lot of patience from Fnatic.
Patience as well, though, from Nip in this place. But again, look at the passive hold on mid. Olaf, Krims have full reign. Forrest wants to play it from the off angle. That's a tough off angle. It's not quite the same as holding it in close to the wall on Catwalk where he can retreat around the corner. This means if he gets stuck in there, he has to go toward the ladder, which means then they just wait for him inside window. It relies on Get Right to pull him out of the position. So the best he can do, okay, so he's going to fall off of it. Because the best he could do from there is either get a trade or wait desperately for someone to come bail him out.
And there's no point to go for a trade when you're walking around with an AWP in 37 seconds. The pressure is on Fnatic, not you.
There is only 30 seconds left, though, so this is going to be commitment.
Oh,
Forrest is still going to come back into pressure. There's your op shot. There's your second op coming into play. Make it two. Olaf around the corner. Midair. Forrest picks him off.
Yeah, and they can hear him coming now in through apartments. Flush is still able to secure that short A, but that short B, but it's not going to matter when the rest of Fnatic can come in through apartments. Get Right, waiting for JW. Executioner style, point blank with the M4. And the bomb is down on the deck. Pronax, difficult, and cannot complete it. So a round gets to go the way of Ninjas in Pyjamas after a while, but they do manage to pick up and hold the double AWP. So Get Right and Alu, they get to control him, giving it over to Forrest and Alu again. So a great round for NIP, and Forrest, a big hold. Really big hold. I thought when he missed that first shot on Olaf that all things were going to go wrong for NIP.
Well, I mean, the double op works. They said and talked about it at the start of the, or at least in the freeze time last round. He only bought it out with 2 seconds left in freeze time, so they'll go back to it again. They're trying to make this 9-6. They pretty much have to.
How quick do Fnatic want to move? Very, very quick. Pronax and Krims, they're not wanting to wait for anything, but Get Right might make him. Krims already killing off Alu. And they managed to run all the way through underpass, and Get Right, well, already Krims. I don't know if you saw him run in there, but there was no response from Get Right.
And it was relentless. He just walked into the corner. Again, I don't think he did see him, but nonetheless, he walked in. It's directly out of that angle. Oh, Forrest hits that shot.
Krims down to 8.
That slows everything in mid.
That means Exist going to be a lot more successful with this until the smoke comes down. So he's got no vision into mid connector.
Now this is interesting, the way they're rotating back off of this, because this leaves Exist alone. Forrest has to do all the work, and this time it's going to go ahead and be the M4 on Catwalk with the double. He does get answered in the end by JW, but Forrest still in the backside. Does tag up on Krims, low HP, sees one drop, and he has to pick a shot very carefully right now because he's still waiting for Exist to come around, and Krims already found him.
He had two opportunities and only shot once. And wasn't able to connect, so it's all up to Exist. A 1-on-3 with the M4.
Needs to be careful.
So many angles to cover, though.
That's the hard part. Remember, Exist has been very clutch in this tournament so far, but he's not going to do it this time, and it's going to be double digits for Fnatic in halftime number 1, 10-5.
They're looking solid, but now we do switch it up, so Ninjas in Pyjamas, when they're feeling down, when they're feeling out, they like to be the aggressor, so they get to switch over the T side, but Fnatic, like, we're expecting a pretty solid defense from them.
Oh, again, we have to watch how this mid plays out, and if NiP want to take the fight, or if they're going to just wait for them to shuffle around in their positions and get away from it. Because again, we talked about it. Flusha can slide out from Catwalk. You've got Crimson in Connector, who once JW is smoked off, pops out, covers it off until either that smoke dissipates or lets JW drop down, look at the underpass. He'll fall back up to A, and they circulate. Basically, he comes up Connector, then the Ops holding off to Palace. Crims goes into the window because they might be up close by then, and if they're not, they just switch it back over. They're very dynamic on the way that they hold A and mid together, and it all comes down to NiP, again, if they want to take that fight or not. If they don't take that fight, then watch for a lot of A executions.
Yeah, well, that was something too, which I know Thorin was talking about on the panel. Like, as far as like getting into the A side, as long as you got your smokes and Age, you should better get in there and get the plant down. Of course, the retake is still there, and you have to hold the site, but it's one way to at least start getting these plants down and potentially rounds up against Fnatic. But we start the pistol, so the second half, round number 16, gets to begin now. And NIP are looking over towards, well, it's a bit of a split. It's looking for the 2 to B and then the 3 to A. But they abandon the mid. And there's your flashes, there's your nades.
Look at Flusha falling back, so this pulls him away from it. But there's still 2 players over there. They're not doing anything to sell this either. So this is actually really interesting. They sold on the bomb side, tried to pull the rotation. Now they'll go in on B. Bomb's going to fall back, and based on these picks from their teammate, they'll go or not. They're going to go. They have to go. They've already taken down Flusha and Pronax. I like this strategy.
It's basically cut off Fnatic. Freiburg doesn't realize that JW is waiting in that mid-connector. But at the same time, Alu, who's managed to pick up 3 for the round, doing the work for his team, spamming out that Tech 9. The plant, it still hasn't gone down yet. Now it finally does. Get Right did some tag damage, but only into Olaf. JW is still at full life. They need to find these initial headshots. Get Right poking for a moment, pokes again. Olaf right on target. Still got a lot of time with this plant. JW moves out with a CZ, but it's Exist to get the kill from up in the apartments. And Olaf knows he can't easily kill off Exist, but he's got Get Right down on the ground, running away from him. Sorry, Forrest, that is. Running away from him, and he can kill him off. Can he get the defuse? It's not going to be tough. He doesn't have enough time anyway. He'll get the kill, but there's just no time.
Good news. Okay, well, he goes down. It doesn't matter. Good news is he's going to get a lot of frag money, but that was almost in a weird way, like a reverse fake. They faked with the 3 players at A, with the bomb there. That pulled one rotator closer to the A site. Then your B players go and try and make the distraction. Meanwhile, bomb falls back, waits for that call. If they win that exchange, great, they go, which is exactly what they did. Then Get Right pushes beyond the site, cuts off the rotators. They get the plant down. If they lose that entrance onto B, then they think, okay, it's definitely a fake. They've already faked A. They have to be there. Rotators go back the other way, which they did, and they would have walked into A. So they gave themselves 2 options on that pistol strategy.
Just seems the only thing they didn't really count on was JW sitting in that mid connector, because that stopped the extra flank to come in from behind from NIP. But we're back into the round again, and Ninjas in Pyjamas on this T side, behind by 4 rounds for the moment, but they've got the weapons up. Let's Get Right. Controls the mid connector. Not perfectly. He hasn't got out to the A side just yet. They need to make a bit more of a hole. As in fact, there's going to be a trade-off. So JW for Get Right.
Freiburg has to be careful. He's up close with the bomb right now. That's it. It's down.
That reveals the position too, but the bang through the wall for Exist. Finding Crims. New is sitting on the stairs.
Need to move a little bit quicker. Flush is still not in a good position. Alu's going to take the fight, but Exist can come up right now if he wanted to. Into connector, he's got to go quick. He's still got 47 seconds, but Alu's alone. And this is giving away more information to Fnatic, so they have to act.
Exist is just the walking wounded, though. You don't want to throw him into a position where he's just going to end up dying. Almost worth a switch over of the weapons. So Alu's able to hold that AK. But they are looking to come to A, but that's where Fnatic is. They've already prepared 2 on the defense, and it's a very split defense too. Pronax.
Oh, Forrest.
He doesn't know. And planning exposed means that Pronax is capable of shooting him, and the hit comes into Pronax, but Pronax actually got Exist as well. Now Flush can mop it up at NIP. Well, that's not the plan.
I'm speechless. That second shot, the first one was good enough to get the planter. That bought them time. Look at that, boom.
That wasn't even meant to properly connect. It was just to walk back, keep it hopefully on target, and maybe you'll connect.
Man,
but that was
reaction.
the problem with Exist being only on like 12 life. It only needed just a fraction of a bullet to hit him, and that's exactly what happened. So Fnatic now goes 11 rounds to 6.
And the interesting thing was Forrest went all the way out to the archway and checked Tetris, and then went, he's probably not there, I'll go plant. And he waited out brilliantly. Exist didn't realize he was there until far too late.
Ninjas in Pyjamas. It's full smokes. It's that A attack. At the same time, Olaf throwing out the nades, trying to slow him down too. Crims, he's holding in close. The flashbangs there. They keep their back turn, but Crims takes 2, looking for the third, able to get it. Support is there, but it's a big, quick mop up. Very, very quick round here in favor of Fnatic. They do still lose Crims as well as JW, but they hold the round. And that means NIP don't have money for this round too, so it should be, if they play their cards right, the 13th round victory as well.
Well, potentially so. As we do see the scout on Olaf as well, SMG, JW, 2 M4s. This will hold your fire angle, so imagine that would be split. Crims will use one toward mid. In fact, yeah, he's heading directly toward connector right now.
And JW just scouted out Exist at the top of mid. Deep nade into the apartments.
Flush is actually going to hold with the second one on Catwalk, so both of them actually were in a good position initially to start things off in mid, but Crims changes his angle. That's Freiburg down outside Palace, and Flush is already going to hold them into underpass, or at least Alu will. Looks like one got by, that's Get Right.
Yeah, but JW's going to get rid of him pretty quickly. Knows Exist is up on that top of mid, so I'd like to get the pick off on him too. Looks like Ninjas in Pyjamas. Well, they start to back up, but then they're going to run in, and JW, he hunts the kill on Exist. And Nip knows they're basically being cornered. They can't come out through mid. JW finds himself another one, and Flush is going to mop up the remainder. Alu running up through underpass. I don't know what their hope was there. Maybe they were considering, hey, ourselves one of those spectator bugs as far as the round score. Actually, nope. No, we don't. So still haven't heard the admin in my ear to let me know what's going on.
Well, we'll read into the situation. We still don't have
rounds restored. There's all the kills, and yep. So we're gonna have a quick round restart with the 20th round, 6-13 in favor of NIP.
Well, the problem is they still have.
Oh, they got a bot. They got Rick the bot who's in there. So yeah, now he's out. Now he's out.
So Get Right can join a team. He couldn't actually join the team. He had to wait with us in spectator.
Mm-hmm. All right, so everyone's good to go. So it's a full round restart. We're 19 rounds in, 20th round now.
Double scout again.
Yep.
The question is, do they do this gentleman's agreement that we saw in the first map? It's a lot more complicated in this one. We were into a 3-on-3. HP was all over the board.
Well, here they come.
Yeah, no, I think
there's no gentleman's agreement. They're playing normally.
This is a whole different setup.
This is just a straight Fnatic setup. JW is looking for that pick on me. He's got a small hole on the edge of the smoke. Going to get flash. Goes for a bit of a rando guess for where Get Right is, while Forrest, earlier damage, Crims turns, picks up Alu in the top of Palace, and he sees a secondary one there. As the smoke prep does come into the A site, that's exactly where they're trying to force in. JW point blank, they're actually touching each other. Right back behind the stairs is Forrest. Nah, Crims will wrap it up. So NIP, it wasn't a committal, but they lost too many players when they tried to enter the site.
And I mean, I know that sounds unfair because it was looking like a good situation in the previous round for NIP. Of course, the scores are backwards, by the way, on the top, keep in mind.
Okay.
So it says Nip is on the CT side. They are not, as we can tell. But keep in mind, this game's well and truly in the favor right now of Fnatic, and it was going to be regardless. Yeah, Nip could have potentially put something together. It would have taken a stretch. If it had been a closer game, it would have been more of an issue. So Nip pretty much at this point, based on that, will give me the indication that they're pretty much looking forward to game 2 at this point.
Let's see, one of the load bugs is there, so a 1 second buy time is what they had. So Ninjas in Pyjamas not looking fantastic. Fnatic will keep him back off the B site. I don't know if these guys are... No, they're still playing. They're just spending a lot of time typing.
And they've switched to typing in Swedish as well, which leads me to believe they don't want too many people to know exactly what they're talking about. But Pronak's going to get the kill on Exist.
Oh, good flash.
Nade comes in, flash as well. Flush up Pronax with 2, make it 3, make it 4. Line them up, drop them down. They're on match point.
Yeah, now the top scoreboard has managed to correct itself. It is Fnatic on 15 rounds to 6 of Ninjas. As we just see this flash, pops up perfect time, and that caught 3 of the players with the nade coming in from the side too. It was a simple mop-up of the apartments. Yes, ninjas in pajamas were walking around with just pistols, so it was probably bound to happen anyway. But just made it a little bit cleaner for Fnatic. As again, JW, thinking about these mid picks, there's so many nades coming out from top of mid. He's feeling someone's there behind the boxes too. Nice nade into the window, dropping JW down to half of his HP. Still got Freiburg behind the boxes, but when you've got Crims and Flusher, like they're the ones that can get a nice little crossfire. In fact, Flusher pushing up, Freiburg going to kill him while flashed. JW keeping these nades flying out too. That's Crims who has a defrag to connect to 2-3. And now maybe looking for the fourth on Get Right. Can't finish the job. But JW can over on Forest, and Get Right's the last man left alive in mid, and the bomb is stuck in connector. So he has to hunt for the kills. In fact, it looks like he doesn't even want to. He's got 55 seconds, so there is time. Actually, he moved back to pick up the grenade. I don't know if he's trying to push one of the rifles closer to him, but he's already got the AK. Olaf. Looks like JW's in the better position for the shot, but Olaf's going to shoot him from... Well, he should shoot him, come from behind at the moment.
No reason to push the issue, though. If he gets too aggressive, Get Right catches him or hears him, and he puts it to a one-on-one, doesn't matter. JW is going to find it. So 16-6 going to be our map score on Mirage.
And
seems
GG.
one-sided, and quite frankly, it really was on the specifically T side for Fnatic. Not really much going the way of NIP, and they look exhausted. They've been playing all day. They played all night last night. They've got to find it in them to squeak out 2 maps. That's it. And then you get to the final. This tournament looked very good for them with Envious out of it, and suddenly with TSM playing the way they have, Nip's in a lot of trouble here. They've got to find something quickly.
Yeah, well, they're going to find it over on Cobblestone because Mirage doesn't seem to hold it for them. I'm interested to see what the analyst desk has to say about the first game as well as the game.